Yeah, now that's what I call living. Basically, this movie is just, well, you could totally film it. Hello, my name is Yevgeny. I'm 27 years old. When I was 18, I was attacked by robbers who stabbed me 23 times and shot me 5 times. This was in 2013. I was 17 or 18 years old back then. At that time, I was still in school, finishing up 11th grade. I was with a girl there. We were hanging out, just spending the evening together. Then I went home around 1 in the morning and went to bed like always. My parents had left for work, so at home it was just my grandma and my sister. My sister was, I think, about 13 years old at the time. Then, early in the morning, around 5 or 6, I started waking up. So there were some people. I opened my eyes and saw some people in masks standing there, and they said, "Give us the money." I only had a few hryvnias left in my wallet. Honestly, I wasn't thinking about money at all at that moment. There were 3 men, big guys, well built. What money could I think about? I said, "You got the wrong address. You're at the wrong place." And for a moment, I even thought it might be some kind of prank. But then, when they stabbed me in the back with the knife, I realized this was no joke, no prank. Where did they hit me? And then something in my throat, and then in my back, the blood was just spurting out. So one had a revolver, one had a knife, and one had just a regular pistol. We got into a fight and started struggling in this little room, like 2.5 by 3 meters, with computers, a bed, so it was really small. And I started fighting with them. I was doing boxing back then, so I knocked one out with a punch after I tore off his mask. I started running. Well, he wasn't of our nationality. When I had already taken him down and was standing in the corner, the 3 of them stepped back, and then he started shooting. He fired 5 times into my stomach. I got hit in the chest area. I even saw the bullet. I was watching how it happened, how they hit me and what they were doing. The wounds, well, there were about 24 or 23 stab wounds and 5 gunshot wounds, so altogether I ended up with 27 scars. Well then, when they were done, they hit me on the head 2 more times. Honestly, there wasn't really any pain, everything just went numb. I was completely alone, but then when they thought they had killed me, they tied me up. My hands and feet were tied and I was just lying there like on the bed. Yeah, that's what you call living, I guess. I was thinking like, oh my God, that's what living is after all that confusion. They started the search, brought in my grandmother and even my sister. Or they took it. I had a gold chain, they took the chain, there were 2 medals. Gold, a phone, also some H hryvnias, some of that, I don't remember, maybe 50,000 hryvnias. It wasn't with their hands, they hit her on the head with a stool. My second wind kicked in, like I came back to life, you know. My sister was untying me while I was really lying there tied up on the bed. I started to leave the room and look for them. They were already gone, they had left, and I had this feeling that I wanted to catch up with them and punish them. I had a motorcycle there, so I got on the motorcycle. Even though I was already all cut up, I was covered in blood from head to toe. It was just flowing everywhere, from here, from my head. I mean, okay, I was just enduring it. But my sister wouldn't let me. I had already turned on the ignition. She ran up and my grandmother was shouting like, "Take the key out." And she, quick as a flash, took it away. I said, "Give it here." Like there was an argument going on because I remember that moment of arguing, "Give it here." She said, "No, you're not going anywhere." I said, "That's it." Then we called an ambulance. It took a long time. So yeah, I sat down on the curb, was sitting there on the curb, bleeding, and I thought, that's it. It's over for me. Then the neighbors, well, across the street, there was Ira, a young woman. She ran over, brought some water, helped me out. Well, a lot happened. Everyone supported me while we waited for the ambulance. Then my dad came back from the market. They told him at work, and they came. That was it. My dad loads me into the car and drives me to Borodyanka himself, to the district, you know, where our district is. And then I started to feel the pain. I could feel every wound. Everything started to ache and hurt. Well, I grabbed onto the back seat like that, all the way to Borodyanka. It's about 20 kilometers. I was in intensive care. I didn't even remember what happened. Well, it happened like that. Snap, I wake up, I open my eyes. There are tents, heaters. I was lying by the window, basically the window. I touch myself. It's like I was born again. A nurse comes in and says like, he's come to doctor. I thought they were their people. They were trying to, inject me with something, and well, that's it, I'm done for. I mean, the doctors were like robbers. I start to get up, IVs, tubes, well, I can't, so I start ripping everything out, basically. As I try to get up, another 4 or 5 people come running in. They start holding me down, by the arms, the bed, but I realize what's going on, and I break free completely. Well, I need to get up, and I need to either get out of here or do something. Throughout the whole panic, I remember this scene, how they tie me up, and then it's like my heart stops, basically clinical death. I see a dog screen, they're reviving me, then I come back to my senses. After that, I talked to the doctor. Well, my kidneys, lungs, basically all my organs were cut, except for my bladder and heart. And this duodenum was telling us, well, and on one side and the other, I mean cut through both sides of the intestine. Can you imagine? Cut through, that's it. Well, I had an open wound, I mean for a whole month, even 2 months, just one open wound. All the doctors there said that it was, I don't know, really a miracle, and I didn't walk at all. Well, I was just lying on the couch on that bed. I couldn't even get up. The doctor said that I needed to start moving, to get active, and not just lie around. Like, come on, it's time to start chasing girls already. Little by little, I started just getting up in bed, just standing up. They would hold me right away in the planes, and then little by little. It was really hard, honestly, but I tried. A bunch of friends came to visit me, and they started helping me little by little. Like, they got me a wheelchair, basically. They got a wheelchair. Then I started sitting up, like sitting cross-legged, basically, and they would take me outside, just to get some fresh air. Yeah, you could say I basically had to learn to walk all over again like a little kid. Nowhere at all. The doctor said I couldn't. I still had open wounds. I wanted to go to graduation, so I came to school, but I had to use a wheelchair. It was hard. So I still had this, and there was an open wound. Basically, they brought me in. I came into the school, and everyone stood up. Some people had tears in their eyes, all my friends were there. I got my diploma, stood there, they gave it to me, and little by little I started going out, walking around. Well, like everyone else with their friends. At first there were some problems. My toes, on my feet, I couldn't feel 3 of my toes. My knee, I was limping, and there was also a wound on the back. Well, everything took a long time to heal. Now my chest, this part of my chest, they get cold. I mean, I can't feel them. So a part of it kind of died. Same with the knee, and now I can't feel anything on my knee either. And this part too, there are some areas that I just can't feel. They found those robbers and arrested them. A lot of people, including some influential ones, got involved in this story. On that same day or the next day, they found 2 people, but one is still missing, and they were brought to criminal responsibility. Well, I was at the trial, but back then I didn't want to talk to them at all. They got just a few years, like 3 or 5 years. The informant was from our village, actually. It was my classmate's father. Well, he said, yeah, that there was a case probably worth $1 million or so, or something like that. And I mean, he pointed them out. I don't know who he served with, where he found them. I mean, the group, like the spotter had already come out. I see him there. From their side, from time to time, like, well, I would at least like to hear, well, an apology or something like that, but who knows? At least I would understand the words, but, I don't need it. Your handouts, your riches. Although, well, in fact, over time, no one has apologized. Being young, surviving an attack, it's like deja vu, just a moment, but I live in the real world.